right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. We're speaking to young people in studio here, plus abroad, and on the issues that are facing the young people. In a broader sense of it, what are the issues, what are the possible solutions, what are the interventions that have been done in the meantime by the young people on their own, and what kind of support do they need? That's the kind of conversation we're having right here. We'd like to hear from you, mostly at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Daybreak. In studio with me, Kennedy Odede is here, is the CEO of Shovco and the UN Mandela Prize winner 2025. Thank you for making time. Ivy Mushoki is here. She's the national coordinator, VAR 3738. That's a Viable Alternative Republic. Thank you so much for making time. Bernardo Koth is here. He's a youth leader. Thank you very much for making time here. And Jared Mugendi, an advocate of the High Court as well. Thank you very much for making time. Valentine Wanjiru, founder 6.25 movement, is also joining us online from the US. She'll tell us what that movement is all about. You may remember her from confronting the deputy president and accusing him of being a tribal leader. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Odede, I'll start with you first of all. Congratulations for winning the UN Mandela Prize winner. How was your experience on that, by the way?
Yeah, thank you so much. So I was, first of all, I was really kind of surprised because I didn't know it's going to happen. So to be at the United Nations at the headquarters there, and you're speaking at the same podium with the head of the UN being there and addressing the member states, it was kind of shocking. And yeah, but good for Africa, Kenya. Yeah.
You're the first one in Kenya and in Africa really to have won this. Yeah. But what did they attribute this to?
I think because of the work that we've been working on, actually with the communities, and they were looking for someone who has the Mandela's kind of values, right? And it was hard for them. They said that they had over 300 people, okay? And the work of Shovco, really something that they really admire so much for what we have done.
For those who don't understand what Shovco does, what does Shovco do?
Shovco started in Kibera, a formal settlement. It was I was a teenager, my Gen Z by then. And then the ex-Gen Z. Yeah. So it was whereby, as a young person, you feel really hopeless. You have nothing to do with it, and you feel like you hit the wall, right? So what we did, I just bought a football. And that's how we started organizing ourselves. And what we did there, we start cleaning the streets, and youth feeling that they have something to give. And Shovco from there started growing. Right now, we are in 35 counties, as you know, with staff of 2,000 staff, impacting 4 million people across the country.
Oh, wow.
Education, youth, right, healthcare programs, helping, giving scholarships. Yeah, it's been clean water in Kibera, for example. Yeah. But the agenda behind it is that organizing, change starts with you. Yeah. Okay, you don't wait for somebody to change your life, you know. So that's what we're doing in the country. Yeah,
yes. And this is where we want to start this conversation, where you say change starts with you. In your own view, what are the issues facing the young people, and what are the possible solutions? Let's start with the issues first. Having grown in Kibera yourself,
yes.
What are some of the things that people don't understand about the young people?
I think the youth are going through a lot, and they're the answers, they're the solutions. But most of the time, people don't pay them attention. And I'll just talk remembering about my life in Kibera, for example. You feel not being seen. That's very dangerous. You're energetic, smart, you're not being seen. Nobody take you serious. You are being told you are the leaders of tomorrow. And that tomorrow never comes. Never comes, yeah. Then you're also being used in political rallies. Okay, you're a young person, you're given some money to go attend rallies and bring some havoc somewhere, right? So you feel like also a bit hopeless. And then at the same time, you're seeing how people are making wealth in the country, right? And you're like, where is my space, right? And so I think what the youth really want is for them to be really listened and to be taken serious, you know? And not to be told that they're the leaders of tomorrow. It's now. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. And we'll delve deeper into that in just a bit. Let me hear what Ivy has to say. Ivy, what are your thoughts in terms of what really is affecting the young people today?
Thank you so much, Trevor, for that. First of all, one of the things that is affecting the young people is the lack of inclusivity in the socio-economical crisis. Young people want to feel like they're part of society. They want to feel like they're part of something and building a nation. So there's some sort of disparity with the system and the young people. So the young people want to be part of the system, but the system is not allowing the young people to actually embrace them and to take them up and say, okay, what are your solutions? What are your problems? What do you think we can do to actually change the system, to actually make it work for you? So the young people want to be included. We want to be part of a system that actually functions for us and works for us. And one of the things that VAR is doing is trying to emphasize that this is a platform where you can come out and air out your grievances. You can come out and actually tell us, how can we reimagine a new Kenya? That's the name, Viable Alternative Republic. We're trying to create a new republic, re-envision a new republic for the young people. What do you want to see change? What systems do you think that we can actually help to develop the country moving forward? So these are some of the things that I feel the young people are not pleased with, especially even the extrajudicial killings that are happening. Young people want a system that actually gives them freedom of their rights, freedom to articulate what they feel. So I believe that the system needs to be worked on, and the young people, we are ready to actually sit on the table and be able to work on these systems and make them work for us.
Okay. Sitting on the table, we'll talk about that as well in just a bit. But Bernard, what are your views? What is affecting the young people from where you come from? And I know you interact with quite a number of them.
Good morning, Trevor and everyone. Youth faces quite a number of challenges in our country today, and these challenges are caused by our leaders. And also we youths, we are not given that space and the chances to showcase ourselves. In most cases, you find, like in political rallies, and our leaders, they misuse youths. So whenever there's an event or a rally somewhere, they don't give youth the chances to showcase themselves. For a good example, maybe you're having an ODM rally somewhere. If a youth tries to go to ask for an opportunity to showcase the capability, you find some of the leaders that are already in the space denies them such opportunities. So my call to the youth maybe, and the solution to this is that, and I get motivated by this quote that says, the size of someone's dream, whenever one becomes in a space, the size of a dream should exceed the current capacity to achieve them. One should just live their dream. And whenever youths have an opportunity in any field, in any occasion, let them do everything strongly. They want to walk, let them walk strong. They want to speak, they speak strongly. They will want to feel, let them feel everything. And the moment they want to love, let them love everything. So whenever they speak, everyone will listen to them in the level that they speak, or with the level that they speak from. Thank you.
All right. Mugendi, I know you're a big advocate of do it yourself. What is affecting the young people?
Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning.
I will not sit here and be a spokesperson for millions of people who I do not have the benefit of knowing them personally. But I can only mirror what I have seen in my personal space and in the sphere of influence that I operate in. Primarily, my view of society does not come from top to bottom. It comes from where the people are. And I'm only sitting here as an observer and a watcher. If I look at, say, some of the causes that, say, contribute to crime, one of the largest contributors that is never spoken about is lack of fathers in homes. Upbringing. Before we discuss the various macro issues and the issues affecting the nation, look at where people are being brought up. Also, what mindset do people grow up with? The society we live right now is thriving on a mindset that there is sort of a fetish that if anything that you can attack makes you a prominent person, anything to get you to the top, nothing else matters. And for those who I interact with on a daily basis, say in the judiciary or say accused people or clients, some of those real life examples do not necessarily feature in the public stage. So I would suggest that for those young people who know that they have a chance at life, your chance is not necessarily based on who gives you an opportunity, because no one will. Even in business, no one will ever give you a chance for anything. You have to claw and fight your way, whether in this country or in any other country. And the idea of hope, you know, hope is not a strategy. And sometimes it has been presented as a strategy for youth in this country. Any time you have an opportunity to sit and address issues, whether national or private, hope must be the last thing on your mind. It must be based on specific set of criteria. One, how can I grow from point A to point B, realistically speaking? What are my skill sets? What am I aiming for? And you soon to realize the moment your excuses reduce, you shoot to the top the fastest. So for those young people, say, who have gotten married and their lives have gotten better because they flow from a spiritual nature, let them also have an opportunity to encourage other young people.
To get married?
Yes. It has some blessings,
okay.
You know?
It's interesting, but from where you come from, you know, there's quite a number of, I don't know how to put this, it's like a disconnect. See, also Mugendi says hope is not a strategy and that no one will give you a chance, you have to fight for it yourself. You have grown up in Kibera. Is that the experience there, and what options do they have at that grassroots level? Yeah. Can you really claw yourself out of this like you did, or do you need someone to hold your hand?
I think I'll challenge Wakili or Mugendi on that. I think what is hope for me? Hope is when you are seeing or feeling the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you together? Hope is the thing that makes you be like, you know, let me wake up from the bed, go look for a job. Let me wake up and believe that my country will have a great leader. Okay? So that's the hope. That's the hope. So for my case, growing up in Kibera, it was tough. And I have to have that hope first, because when you don't have hope, you give up. Kenya, we have these, all leaders are corrupted in Kenya. Why do you have to worry? They'll come, they bribe me, life goes on, right? So you already did not, you are done, you are now hopeless. Okay, but when you have hope, you know, one day something will happen. So the issue I have with the youth, I'll be honest with you, the youth of this country, there's something called moment, and then dies away. You don't have to wait. You have to organize yourself. You have to start doing something. So right now in this country, we know the issue of the youth, honestly, let's be honest. We hear from them, talking to them, right? Because Shofco work with millions of youths in this country. Joblessness. They are smart, but there's no job, right? So they are feeling really neglected. So I think, can the youth start to organize themselves? Can the youth start to have their own things going on? And it's not a big thing, guys. It just starts from, in Kibera, I was what, 16 years old, starting Shofco there, in the community, organizing people, without you knowing. You care about the president? Do you even care about who is the MC of your area? Do the youth around you have votes and IDs? So there are a lot of things that you can start working on now. You know, instead of just waiting. And if you keep on waiting, you will fall on their box. They have money. And someone like President Obama taught us something. You know, he called himself like what? A community organizer. Simple. What does that mean? Means that you organize your village. Forget about a big thing there. Start from where you are. What can the youth in this world do? From there, it starts growing. Then now the youth across the country are now connecting. But right now I'm seeing, and the system is going to fight them. I get it, right? But for them to succeed, the youth have to organize themselves. They have to start doing something. Okay. And then the idea of waiting that you are born from a poor family like me. I know what I said. I said I don't care about that. This is Kennedy Odede. And these names don't known anywhere in this country or in the world. I don't care where my family came from. I will work hard. I will do it myself. Nobody going to help me. Yeah. When you say that, you start moving. And now that
I think he just agreed with me, but it's okay.
Let me bring in
Hope is important.
You ended up agreeing with me.
Let me bring in Valentine first and hear what Valentine has to say. Valentine, thank you for joining in. And you have the advantage of having been in this country and now being in the diaspora. Do we share the same problems across board as young people?
Not necessarily. Okay, and the reason I say that in the United States, there are opportunities, right? You can get jobs in the health sector, in government, wherever you want to get a job compared to Kenya. Kennedy said something really important, right? Unemployment is Kenya's biggest challenge. And not just even Kenya, when you look at Africa in general, Africa's population keeps skyrocketing and is growing compared to any other place in the world, but there are no opportunities. Kenya's generation, the millennials, zillennials, and everyone, and Gen Zs are well educated. They are have the most innovative, very tech savvy, like very up to date with what's going on. Like sometimes I call my friends in Kenya and they know so much like about tech and music that I don't even know. But yet, chances to showcase this are not there. And last year we witnessed that the reason why a lot of Gen Zs also were part of the protest is when institutions like TikTok and YouTube were gonna get taxed. So how do you tax institutions that you haven't created that make jobs? So that is Kenya's one of the biggest problems I believe we are facing as young people. And yeah, I couldn't say it better than Ivy and Kennedy and the rest of the panel.
Yeah, Valentine, when the former deputy president was in your region, you confronted him directly with the issue of being a tribal leader. What really irked you about that? Because there's been a whole debate after you spoke to him. There are people who say that everybody comes from somewhere, therefore you have to start from home, charity begins at home, but you had a problem with it. What was the bone of contention here?
I believe we should all be proud of where we came from. The Kenyan Constitution enshrines the right of language and identity. So I think my biggest issue at the event was positioned as a diaspora engagement event. So for me, I was thinking it's a national, a public event for everyone. So the moment I walked in and there was Kikuyu gospel songs being sung and a few Kikuyu words being thrown here and there. And I was reading the room and I'm realizing not everyone is from this specific tribe. So I figured, you know, in the spirit of inclusivity, it would be good to let them know in advance that they should speak the national language, either English or Swahili. Because if you're running, first of all, let me make this clear. My stand is Ruto must go. And if we're trying to bring everybody together to get to that agenda, speaking a certain language, you're blocking everybody out of it. And the issue with tribal politics in Kenya, when this stems all the way from independence, when Jomo Kenyatta became the Kenyan president, we've seen tribal politics being used as a tool. We've seen the political class using tribal politics as a shield and a sword. So, and I'm not saying don't be proud about your tribe. Cultural expression is good. You know, when you go to Mulembe night, Luo night, Mugithi night, all those things are amazing. I think it only becomes dangerous if the rhetoric being used by the political class is one that divides or perpetuates a certain stereotype that instead of uniting people, polarizes us. And I keep saying this, until we move away from political tribalism, tribal politics, then we cannot fight corruption. Until we stop the politics of voting people based on ethnicity, but just vote them based on merit and the kind of work that they will do based on policy, based on integrity and the track record, then we will move forward. But if we dwell on the politics tribe, the political class won't change. They've starved our country. They've had no solutions. And as long as tribalism governs our politics, our economy will only work for the political class and not all of us.
Okay. Valentine, what does your movement do? Is it 6.25? Is it 625? What does it do?
So it's 6.25. So June 25th, you can remember the highlights of last year's protest. On June 25th, so many young Kenyans died. So our movement stands as a memorial and a call for justice, and a call for action as well, and accountability and system changes. So we primarily do a lot of advocacy and civic education. For instance, this Sunday, this past Sunday at the Sankofa in Washington, D.C., we launched our first series, The Politics of Kenya, where we spoke about the colonization period. We recognize that to understand our future, we have to understand ourselves first. And if we look at the history that has been taught to us growing up, it was not as accurate. It didn't actually reflect, get rid of all the neo-colonial and colonial aspects of it. So until we understand that, understand who we are, and move forward from what we already know and come out from the miseducated history that we have, then that's another way we move forward. So I think that has been one of the bases of our work. We also do a lot of currently working with the Pan-African community here to advocate not just on issues about Kenya, but Kenya's role in other countries, for example, in Haiti, in Sudan. These conversations keep coming up in the Pan-African space, so we are there to speak. And for this communities to recognize it's not us Kenyans who are doing these things. It's a certain group of people, the political class or the president himself, bringing us into these hostile spaces.
All right. I'll take a quick break. Stay with us. You're taking a quick commercial break here. We're back with this conversation around youth in action. We're trying to find out what are the solutions. Are they locked in a vicious cycle? And that's a conversation I'll have with all of you here. Because at the end of the day, we talk about a leadership and the youth are the majority, but then they still elect the same people. Are they locked in a vicious cycle where they're shooting themselves in the foot, essentially? Somebody comes to you, you do not know what their credentials are, but as long as they have money, that's the leader that you want to elect. And then you come back and complain that you're not getting the services that you wanted, and yet you elected the wrong person to begin with. That's a conversation we're going to have in just a short while. Keep your views coming at Trevor Mbidi at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Citizen Daybreak. See you in a short while.